Alright, good evening everybody. System Chalk here with the 24th episode of Cultist Simulator. This is the Librarian run playing as Ivan Vucetic, the detective legacy. Now, I'm going to be taking a different approach to how I've been trying to fulfill this Librarian run. Just a reminder here, basically what the aim is, the aim here is to get one of every book and have it on the table by the end. So this is challenging because if you want to get lore in the game, that basically you get that by reading books. There's very few, there are ways that you can get lore without reading books, but most of the way that you progress in this game is in fact by reading books. And one of the things that happens in this game is that the books vanish after you read them. So I'm going to be taking a slightly different approach to this. However, I don't want to eliminate books on the chance that I'm wrong on these things. So as always, we've been talking about sort of testing hypotheses. Well, I'm going to be doing the same thing here, but again, I want to make sure that I'm I want to make sure that I'm not putting all of this time that I've put into this run at risk by playing around with concepts that I don't fully understand. So what I'm thinking of here is I want to be playing around with this idea of uniqueness and whether or not that affects my ability to get certain books. So what I'm going to start by doing, I'm going to pick some candidate books that I'm going to loosen my restrictions on in terms of keeping in the library. The idea here is that I'm still going to be, I still want to use these texts. I still want to be able to, I still want to hang on to them. I'm not loosening the restriction of having one of every book, but there are a few things that I want to be doing in terms of picking some candidates for testing. So I think I want this. If you've seen text, no, hang on. I always thought that I needed Latin for this one, but apparently I didn't. Okay. It's like the Three Roses are a good candidate for this. I'm actually I've got my notes written here, so I'm gonna put some notes, some markers beside a few texts. So I've actually already read this one once before. I think Franklin Bancroft would be another one. Yep. And then the Wainscott Histories is in, English. Okay. So this is enough of a start for me, so I'm going to start by translating the Rose of Hypatia, marked with the triple sign of the arcane contemplative order known as the Sisterhood of the Knot in Greek. Lock the study door, the work begins. In the meantime, I'm also going to try and deal with my moods, so let's go to the Ecdysis Club. What am I doing? I gotta pay with Neville. The entrance is lost beneath the entrance is lost beneath soft drapes of crimson cinnabar and incarnadine. Above the door, the club motto, Engi rum imis nocteat consumi marigni. It has been rendered as, into the night circle we fly until the fire enjoys us. Ah! The performance has hardly begun when a moan of terror arises from the audience. I've no luck at all. My investigation has turned up no new leads. I think for this one I'm going to try a painting. Something to remember them by, perhaps. The performance ends immediately. The lights come up, we are ushered from our seats and urged into the street. It's never clear what has happened, but the club staff seem prepared as if this has happened before. Lights bloom in nearby windows, and passers-by gawp at the crowd of guests dispersing into the night. So you'll notice that this directed the most recent notoriety into Leo. That's exactly why I did that. Alright, this illness has damaged my health. I will need to rest before I'm fully recovered. And I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. Here, we'll use the funds. I'm seeing things. The world is dangerously bright. So back to the Ecdysis Club. No way! Oh, crap. I gotta find a way to destroy this as soon as possible. This might save me. Passionate intensity, I see the mistakes, but I can also see the end. Okay. Let's keep going with our translation efforts. So there's the Rose of Muriel. Cool. The lights go down very gradually as the performance ends. There is no applause. We each drift into the street alone with our dream. Is this something very special? It may provoke a reaction. Alright, the artist's reward. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. Staleness. We gotta get to work as soon as we can, and this time we want the dread. In fact, I'm gonna throw some more reason at that. I don't know if it's assured, but it really does seem like when we succeed, we wind up with more dread. Alright, optimism is a spice which saves. Hobson, I want to talk with you. Perhaps we could parlay, or perhaps I could send something to ambush them. Ah, nuts. The white door may be a good call here. Do I really have nothing to scare him with? Yeah, I just got myself a notoriety for nothing. Oh, that's interesting. The wrong kind of attention. The city's rife with journalists and detectives and other meddlers. How long will they leave me in peace? Man, I am doing everything I can to hurt myself at this point. Alright, the sick room goes close and stale. Time to get up. Now, I don't really need to go to the Ecdysis Club anymore. But I don't think I'm quite ready to do the expeditions yet either. Alright, now I can approach the white door through the bounds. Now I can press my fingers to it, feel its chill, watch it swing open. As it opens, my mouth closes, tightens, heals over like a lost deformity. Around and about me is the cobalt light of the mantis. So, I was about to lose. Why didn't I? Fleeting reminiscence from that there. So the solitary of the everyday banishes phantoms. I tether myself to the everyday. So what I want to be doing now is I want to be provoking as many fleeting reminiscences and as much dread as I can. So that was the original point of talking with Spencer Hobson, but I don't have the scary lore yet. Okay. Lock the study door. The work begins. Progress. The constant clatter of closing doors, damp stains, the damp stains on station walls, the smell of boot polish, and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I've made progress and earned myself some overtime pay. I'm trying to remember which one is evidence against me and which one's evidence against Rhaenyra. Alright, no luck on the dread front. This is rash. Perhaps I shouldn't have exposed myself so yeah, this will be a problem reputation-wise, but let's work with what we've got. I'm going to wait 20 seconds to see what happens in the white door. And Connie Lee! Alright, we've got 2 investigators after me now. There's always someone who doesn't understand, or who understands too well. This troublemaker may seek evidence on my activities to share with the authorities. And here Connie Lee is mystic and tenacious, so actually very hard to kill. The heiress, suffragist, and adventurer. She's recently put her chaotic enthusiasms and considerable wealth at the service of the Suppression Bureau. So I can't risk a fascination at this point. The white door opens. Many of the dead enter the mansis through the white door. They wander its corridors in silence until they are lost. Some embrace each other, some devour each other, and some force their way into the dreams of the living. A few record their memories on the mansis stone where it is soft. They scratch it with their nails, you see. Last night, I read one of those memories. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to talk with Leo for a start. I wanted to give it a couple of seconds to run by, and now we're going to go back to the white door. Okay. The world is dangerously bright. So we know we're going to get hit by the evidence. This is really... I'm not talking to Leo to stop that. What I am trying to do is, sorry, words. Well, okay, like, well, number one, it's always nice to just be able to try and scoop up notoriety. Like, that's, you know, neither here nor there. Sorry, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, no. It's right now. I'm just trying to get something done with Leo. I am actually still focused on trying to get this dread. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Okay, I'm gonna translate Debellus Murorum. Now again, we've already read this text, but it doesn't hurt to read it again. And again, this is going to be an experiment in terms of seeing whether or not I can get another copy. So lock the study door. The work begins. Okay, progress. The constant clatter of closing doors, the damp stains on the station walls, the smell of boot polish and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I've made progress and earned myself some overtime. There we go. Okay, Hobson's doing his thing again. This is pretty lucky in terms of picking up a notoriety. Perfect. The air crisps the skin, frost marks the glass, the sixth order influence, the signs are unmistakable. This can be used in some rites to summon minions. If unused, it will become dread. Last night, the white door was bright as a mirror, bright as fresh snow, bright as the migraine moon. I remember its brightness, but I remember its chill the most. I laid my cheek against it. I still feel the ache of its cold in my skull. Okay, so I'm going to try a couple things here. I'm not gonna go back to the white door quite yet. Optimism is the spice which saves. Okay, so... that really doesn't work, huh? I just like collecting notoriety at this point. I'm gonna leave all that alone. Okay, so I believe did I translate Lord Franklin Bancroft? Where the hell is he? No, I did not. I translated to Bellus Mirorum. Okay. Cool. And now I can start searching out the city. Oh, annoyingly, I have to mind my manners with dread. I do want to keep the... so there's a possibility I generate dread here, which will make me very sad if it does. But I do actually want to see what this does. And we're lucky, I've got a Season of Ardors coming up, so... Alright, this was rash. Perhaps I shouldn't have exposed myself, so not great, but now I know the icy atmosphere does not generate dread. Oh boy. It's always coming in the last time. Alright, now I have too much dread. The constant clatter of closing doors, the damp stains on the station walls, the smell of boot polish and unwashed constables. All this narrows to a single crystalline truth. I have made progress and earned myself some overtime pay. So I got 28 seconds, so this is not going to hit me. Actually, no, yeah, I am going to need to get rid of... I am going to need to get rid of at least one. So... let's take a flyer on a painting. Which probably isn't the smartest thing for me to do because I may wind up... with more mystique than I know what to do with. But, I mean, let's be honest here. Normally when you have 2 dread and 2 fascination, you're getting ready to think about what your new run is going to be, not... you know, you're not... like this is a better place to be than I was a few minutes ago, let's say. Alright, the law does not touch this decaying fringe of the city. The mud here has claimed many lives, and there will no doubt be some wretched criminals or other layering in the warehouse. Okay, there's the fascination that we wanted. The dread will come from the night terrors. We'll get contentment from solitude, so some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. So what I want to do here, I got to be careful in terms of the order in which these things happen. So, converting clues into evidence, I am certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. I'm gonna leave... we don't have a season of suspicion coming up. Oh no! Ah! Okay, so we've got a season of despair coming up in 47 seconds, so the chilly atmosphere is now a liability. So I'm going to hold on to this dread. This contentment will not last long enough on its own. combine it with anything quite yet. Okay, well, let's live with that for now. We need to get rid of the evidence, but I need to get rid of my reputation more. So this dread gets taken into the fascination, that's fine. This chilly atmosphere... Oh, actually, here we go. That's the solution to my problems. Of course I have old and happy far-off things. This game's not going to give me a break. My recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings publicly. Surely someone will buy something. Okay. I have a brief reprieve, so let's go back to the station. Let's employ our reason and the tentative evidence. Okay, so that's 60 seconds while I do the investigation. I will have a restlessness which will eventually turn into dread. So I can paint that away. This chilly atmosphere is going to turn into dread in 43 seconds, but I'll have a contentment to clear that if it lasts long enough. Okay. A half-glimpse of wistfulness has touched me. So, we are about to... We're going to be free in a little bit. The world as it is. Mirrors are calm. The sun is steady. The glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions. It's over for now. So, we're clear of the fascination. We are going to need to worry about bleak thoughts in a little bit. Or sorry, we've got bleak thoughts. We need to worry about the Season of Ambitions, where Rhaenyra is probably going to pick up something. We can pass the bleak thoughts now because the chilly atmosphere is it's gonna decay into the dread in 30 seconds, and then the restlessness we paint away, and then we pretend this never happened. So let's paint. This one I can actually afford to be a full passion painting. Whether or not that's a smart thing is another question. No one understands us, or else they understand us too well. Well, just keep doing our thing. Expedition continues. So yeah, safe across treacherous ground, and I lost the contentment. Which is fine, because I was being corny about it anyway, so... let's pay for the paints. What is she up to? She is staying underground, and given the luck that I have so far, this could turn into another level in her ascension. Okay, Sylvia, look closer, closer still, closer. Keep looking, closer. Now close your eyes. Magnificent work, and we do have some contentment. So, and a fascination, because why not? The doors of vision swing wide. A little darkness will mellow my light. Even dread has its uses. Let's never do that again. All right. Excuse me. Let's take tentative evidence, pursuing an investigation. Investigating a target, the more reason I use, the better my chance of success. Here's another who would ascend before me. A cautious scheme. They're still in hiding. What exactly are they up to? Let's also deal... I'm going to organize the reputation a bit. This is about me. Alright, there we go. We're finally organized. So, not my favorite, but hey, we'll work with what we've got. And we don't have any staleness. Cool. So yeah, like, obviously that was a tremendously scary little patch, but... Now we do need to worry about evidence. So my best bet, honestly... The Watcher's Confusion. Okay. So the question is, am I willing to throw Porter at this? I don't think so, because in the end, it's just damning evidence. I am going to leave the talk verb open, though. Treasures lie before us. Our expedition... Well, you know what? I probably would have had the time to try and destroy that evidence. Still, potentially risking the loss of a follower. I'm not quite that I'm not that desperate yet. Alright, my rival has been up to some kind of mischief. The Suppression Bureau may make note. Again, as long as Rhaenyra is not further along her ascension, I'm okay with that. So we go back to work. We also start going back to the Stag Door. The world as is. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. So we might get lucky with all of the mystique that we have. This notoriety doesn't last very long, but we are finishing off our expedition. A barred door, a cramped space, a hidden cargo. So I'll deal with the evidence first. Okay, so we're not guaranteed books in these cases, by the way. I'm just trying to raise the possibility. Alright, the Watchers here were guarding crate sealed with thief-signed ribbons. This was not a lawful operation. The owners of the cargo may not be pleased with our meddling. Okay. So, like, the other thing is we may have to go through the whole deck again, which actually means I should be pursuing some more occult scraps. I should be going back to the woods. For starters, let's get rid of the evidence. Occult scrap here. The thing is, we are going to be able to use all of these in rituals when the time comes, so it's not completely wasted. I will leave that aside. And yeah, I think just because we're getting short on occult scraps, it's like if we're out of Forsaken Reach, we will continue. We'll go to the continent and we'll finish those. But I might as well get the occult scraps while I can. There we go. So, season of sickness coming up, we will go for some fresh air and exercise. head straight back to the Forsaken Reach. I don't see any reason to hold back at this point. If anything, I want to just really plow through this as much as I can, because if I need to clear the deck before the tomes get reintegrated, I want to do that. Looks like we destroyed the evidence. I'm so used to the white door. Alright, perfect. So, through the wood. I walked in the wood last night, and the scissors worked in the distance, and furred things crammed my mouth and swarmed my ears, and I felt the old urge to drop to wolf fours and nose among the roots, but I remembered that I walk upright by day, and that I know fire and steel and words, and at last I found where the velvet had concealed a secret on tree bark beneath moss. I read it then with the tips of my fingers, and I think now that I could write it in full. So we're gonna be taking quite a few trips to the wood. I mean, there's always the option to break down furtive truths, but we are also probably going to wind up making a few trips, you know, for furtive truths as well. So in this case, I'd rather stick with what I've got. Yzabet succeeded, which is good. I think now we send Leo out to... I mean, we'll have to deal with other evidence in a little bit, but we might as well send Leo out to clean up our reputation as much as we can. Not everyone is sympathetic to our aims, but if we have problems with our reputation, our disciple can probably smooth them over, and we've made more progress. Okay, so the new approach obviously is going to take some time to sort out, but... Man, I'm really happy that things turned out the way we were expecting with, or not expecting, but I'm really happy that things turned out in terms of the, sorry, that things turned out with the, like the potential loss. So we'll obviously have to deal with some of the other troubles, so we have dread now. I'm going to need to get some contentment. Painting will probably solve that. You know, I've evidence against... Well, I will have evidence against me. There's still a lot of things to do, and I still have not clarified fully what I need for, you know, for certain texts. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit better about this approach here. I like the fact that I wound up with the items again. Like, I think I have a mental model to explain why that's the case. Like, I don't think that's an indicator that things are going wrong yet. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's a peculiar rumor at this point, but let's try the Temple of the Wheel. Nice! Alright. I came to the Temple of the Wheel, that high and jagged rock, that memorial to dead gods. Those who take their own lives sometimes first cast themselves from its peak and dream. I found another sleeping soul, scratching the sign of the eye into the lichen at its peak. I do not recall what passed between us, but I will recognize their face in the waking world. By the way, I did say before, so now that I've kind of saved the people from this, I always kind of, for myself, imagine like this idea of, you know, those who take their own lives sometimes first cast themselves from its peak and dream. I always kind of imagine that's the circumstances under which you find the individual with the peculiar rumor, that this is somebody who's just about to sort of make that final choice. And it's specifically like you finding them and being able to sort of let them know, no, you're not the only one like this. You know, hey, come along on side of this. It takes their, you know, takes them in a different direction. So I'm thinking specifically, you know, the people here and here. This is what it is. It's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to wait until I'd found someone and recovered them. Because it's kind of grim when you think it's like if you let that particular peculiar rumor go unanswered, it's like, oh, that's a really grim, that's a really grim thought. But yeah, that's sometimes when I recover someone from that peculiar rumor, I kind of imagine that was where I found them. Was I going to do that, or was I going to try painting? Yeah. I'm committed now. Let's go back to the Way of the Wood. Way to the Wood. And I think we will call it for tonight. So yeah, I appreciate your patience with this run. So the first approach that we had for the for locations like the Forsaken Reach didn't turn out. But I still have some like I do have a way of thinking about this which still makes sense. I do need to verify it. So you'll notice here I've been reluctant to read particular books, but I have messed around with my collection a little bit now, specifically because I want to test some things. It is going to take a bit of time, which is why I'm going back to the. That's why I'm going back to the wood to be able to get some more of those occult scraps. But I'm feeling okay about this one. Like, it's worth remembering that we did actually get a second copy of De Bellis Murorum, which was already translated. And so in that particular case, I'm like, okay, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to translate a number of books and see if that changes anything. And if it does, that's a really big signal to me in terms of where I'm going to be able to get the next batch of books. But again, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that in the future. And I think this is the last one for the week. So I will see you all Monday for another episode. Until then, take care, and I hope you have a lovely weekend.